Hey everyone, it's Kenji. We're going to be grilling some reasonably sized burgers. So this is based on a New York Times article I just did. I will link to it below. There is a paywall. So the idea here is that if you're grilling a burger outside, it's very easy, and I'll link to my video on how to make a big burger, but it's very easy to make a nice big burger that has a lot of grill flavor, because you can leave it on there, let it singe, let it cook, get that charcoal flavor without, sort of drying it out. But oftentimes I don't want to eat like a 6 or 8 ounce burger. I want something smaller, more reasonable. And, for whatever reasons you might want that too, whether it's, environmental or health or whatever it is, whatever reasons you might want to eat less meat. So this is a technique I use for making sort of smaller burgers that still have lots of grill flavor, and come out nice and juicy. The advantage also is that they cook really fast. So I have about 12 ounces of beef here, so I'm going to divide this into 3-ounce balls. So not very big at all, less than a McDonald's quarter pounder. And what I'm doing is I'm putting the balls, actually packing them a little bit tighter than I normally would for a grilled burger. Packing them a little bit tight so that they stick together nice and well, and then putting them on a sheet of parchment paper like this. All right, 1, 2. Normally, if you're cooking a burger like on a skillet or a bigger burger on the grill, you wouldn't really pack them that tight because, when you have a bigger burger, you want the burger to sort of, or at least I want the burger meat to stay a little bit sort of more loose and tender. And when you start to pack it like that, it can make it get a little bit tough. But if you're making this kind of burger, or if you're making, say, like a smash burger, then you do want to pack it a little tighter. All right, so that's the only time I'm going to touch the beef. I'm going to quickly wash my hands. This beef, by the way, I got it from a local butcher here in Seattle, actually over on the east side. Fresh ground. So I trust that this beef is, clean enough that I could eat it raw even if I wanted to. But I know people on YouTube like to nitpick, so I'm gonna wash my hands anyway. At a restaurant, of course, I'd wash my hands all the time. All right, so now what I'm doing is I'm gonna take this second sheet of parchment, put it right on top, and kind of mush these burgers down. I'm going to take this little tray. You can use a plate, you can use your hands, whatever you want, but the goal is to flatten them into a patty that's actually significantly bigger than the bun you're going to be using, because they will shrink. The amount of burger shrink is dependent on a few things. So it's dependent on the amount of fat in the burger. So the more fat in it, the more it's likely it is to shrink. It depends how tightly it's been packed. So if you buy beef in those vacuum sealed packs, or the chub packs, sometimes they're called, the big packs, that beef is going to shrink a lot more as it cooks, just because the protein network that's built up in them is so much tighter. Whereas if you have freshly ground beef like this and you're not packing it super tight, it's not going to shrink all that much. So if I was doing this with beef from a cryovac pack from the supermarket, I would actually make these burgers even wider than this, just to account for the fact that they're going to shrink. What I really hate more than anything in a burger is when you get like all those bites of bun. If the burger shrinks too much and you end up with all these bites of bun on the outside with no meat, I feel like the meat should always overlap the bun just a little bit. All right. You see all that? There we go. Got 4 nice big patties, thin. And season the first side. Salt. And pepper. This is the Unicorn Magnum Pepper Grill. People ask me what my favorite pepper mill is. That has been my favorite pepper mill for the past at least dozen years or so, and it remains to this day. I'm just going to pick up all this parchment at once, flip it right over, and season this second side. And so now what I've done is I've seasoned the burgers on both sides, and I've also loosened them off the parchment so they're going to be easy to transfer to the grill. All right, and that is it. All right, so I'm going to take this all outside, and we will pick up again out there, okay? I got my grill going, so I'll see you in just a couple minutes. So I've got my toasting my buns over in a little butter over here on the side grill. I always like to have my buns pre-toasted for burgers, like really thin burgers like this, because the burgers cook fast and you don't want to let the burgers, you know, one of the key parts of the burgers is you got to eat them right when they're done. So you don't want to let them sit there waiting for your bun to toast or putting on your toppings and stuff as the burgers kind of overcook and dry out. So I got my buns. Oops. I will let my wife and daughter dress theirs how they like, but I'm going to do mine with some mayo just at the bottom for now. All right, that guy's gonna be mine. All right, so over here, this is where I'm gonna do the actual cooking. You wanna do this on the hottest burner you got. So charcoal generally burns a lot hotter than gas does. So I'm gonna be doing this on the charcoal grill over here. All right, so I have about half a chimney of coals lit. They're all underneath one side of the grill. Oh, and I think I forgot to pepper the top side of these burgers, so I'll do that right now. All right. And here we go. So the key here, aside from shaping them like this, is that in order to get really nice charred flavor, so one of the issues is that if you want to get good charred flavor on a burger that's this thin, and you cook it the way you normally cook a burger, well, the way I normally cook a burger is to cook it on one side, flip it over and cook it on the second side. If you do that with a burger like this, it ends up completely drying out by the time you've built any flavor. So what I do instead is I let it cook on that first side, like 90% of the way through, just on that first side. That way you get a ton of charred flavor, you get really nice color. You flip it over and then you let it the second side just cook through, so that you still actually maintain quite a bit of the juiciness in there, all the fattiness, and you get on top of that really nice grilled flavor. So that's really the secret. And we do want to see some nice flames coming up. So a burger on the grill, you know, what gives it that char grilled flavor is actually the fat kind of dripping down, landing on the coals and igniting, and then sort of the sooty deposits that get lifted back up onto the burger. That's where the flavor of a char grilled burger comes from. That's what makes it different from, say, a smash burger or a pan fried burger, griddled burger. Both can be great. I'm not saying one is better than the other, but if you really want that backyard flavor, smoke, that's where that flavor comes from. Soot, cancer, delicious cancer. One of the advantages of having all the coals on one side like that and a round grill is that you can kind of rotate the thing around to make it work. So this patty's almost done. You can see it's sort of almost cooked through the first side. It's in fact starting to turn a little bit gray on the top. That means that it's cooked through as much as we want it. The other ones are going to take a little bit longer. One slice of cheese right on top. We'll just let it sit for a few seconds on that second side. And then we're going to go right in here. And I'll put it on this cooler side for now so that it doesn't completely overcook. Got our other patties on the hotter part of the grill now. So so you can see it took maybe like a minute, I don't know, 2 minutes to cook through. I think that's good when you're in a hurry for lunch. And if you do want, you know, more meat, what you can always do, ooh, look at that, is make it a double, right? Double the meat, double the cheese, double the charred flavor, just like that. All right, these guys are pretty much done. You can see how there's plenty of charred color and flavor on there. Just from that first side alone. All right, and we are good to go. Actually, I know my wife and daughter also like mayonnaise, so we'll go ahead with that. They can add whatever toppings they want, but I know they like mayonnaise. All right, so I'm gonna go for mine. Do some onion down there. Got some pickle slices. I'm gonna go with this double, and today I'll put the tomato on top just for the fun of it. Look at that. Still plenty juicy, reasonably sized. Even my daughter, my 4-year-old, can handle it. Probably, we'll see. And delicious as can be. All right. Is that a good looking burger or what? Jeez Louise, that looks great. Reasonably sized grilled burgers. All right, shall we go for a bite? That's a great burger. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna call my family to lunch before I eat my whole thing. Guys, gals, non-binary pals, thank you. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.